And now, Coast to Coast RIA presents the Experts Corner with Pete ASMUS. Now, get ready to go make something happen, because in this series, it's all about actionable information with different experts, strategies, and solutions from around the country. You won't be able to help but catapult your life into a new direction. So get ready, because we are about to begin.
And now from coast to coast, your host, Pete ASMUS.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Experts Corner. Tonight is Tuesday. It is July 8th, 2014. And we have another edition of the Experts Corner with Pete ASMUS. And our special guest tonight is our good friend Steven from New Jersey. He's with Keller Williams. He is really big in being a realtor, in real estate. And I think that there's going to be a lot of synergy here with the information he has, stuff that he does, along with what we want to do and how we're interacting with everything. So one of the things that I wanted to do is we're slowly evolving Coast to Coast RIA, and I'm changing the RIA from Real Estate Investment Association to, it's probably going to be something like Responsible or Rising Entrepreneurs and Investors Association, because I want to open up the doors more. The reality is real estate's a great way to make money. It's a great way to invest. It's a great way to build your future. But there are also a lot of other things that people like to do. And I think that we can reach out and help them and give back. So one of the things that I want to do is I want to bring on different types of people in different areas, different parts of the country, and really kind of make this an amazing webinar where we're always bringing you new and different information. So I wanted to bring Steven on tonight because he really embodies a lot about what I think realtors should be. When you look at what he's done and really what his specialty is, his specialty is in a lot of disabled housing. And so, again, I think that a lot of times people develop these specialties out of necessity, right? And when we hear his story, you're going to hear why I'm saying that, because he went through a lot to get where he is. But the cool part is he never gave up. He didn't quit, and he just kept driving through it. So we've got Steven on today. We're going to talk a little bit about the challenge as well. You're on Experts Corner, all aspects of entrepreneurship, every Tuesday night at 6. But without or with less. God, what am I saying, man? There, Steven, how are you doing?
Good, Pete. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm fighting through things, but we're doing good. So, Steven, tell us a little bit about who you are, how you got into real estate, and kind of what drives you in that.
Sure. I fell into real estate by accident. I'm a fourth-generation realtor, which is kind of rare.
Fourth generation.
Right. So my family's been selling real estate in this area for over 100 years. It's kind of an amazing stat when you think about it. My great-grandfather, grandmother, mom, me, my dad's in the business now my wife's in the business, and I'm a third-generation realtor on my in-laws side. So there's a whole lot of real estate at the family dinner table. But I never wanted to do this. This is not something I dreamed of doing, getting into real estate, helping clients, helping my investors and builders find homes to buy and sell and rebuild. Never wanted to do that. But I fell into it because of my son. And 12 years ago, in June of 2002, to be specific, he was in the middle of a 3-month hospital stay at a hospital near us, and having 7 or 8 neurosurgeries that summer, 3 of them to save his life. And after this first neurosurgery to save his life, the company I was working for fired me the next day.
What?
So, yeah, they fired me while my son was on life support.
Stop it.
Swear.
Man. Okay, now what were you doing at that time?
I was in the software industry. I had spent my first 10 years in professional life working for startup software companies in both Boston and Silicon Valley near San Jose, California, and then all back here in New Jersey, being like the very first or second salesperson to prove that their software was realistic in the market.
Wow. Okay, so you're working for a software company.
Yeah.
When your son has what?
Now, I mean, he was diagnosed with cerebral palsy when he was shortly after he was born, about 3 months after he was born.
Okay.
And then because he was such a preemie, or micro preemie as it's called, he was only 1 pound 7 ounces when he was born.
Oh my gosh.
Things started to develop over time. So we saw everything from cerebral palsy to epilepsy to lung disease to stomach issues to a thing called dystonia to reconstructive hip surgery to you name it, we've pretty much been there.
Wow. How do
So,
you do that?
there are a lot of dark days. There are a lot of quiet moments where you question life and society and people and what's important in life and why you get up in the morning. And you eventually just focus on getting through today and knowing that you have to get ready for tomorrow because the sun's going to come up.
Okay.
And that's about the easiest way I can put it, is just really break it down to we started to learn to live day by day.
Man. Now when you got into this and you started, so here you are, you have a son, your son is sick, you're working for a software company going back and forth. He's in the hospital, and then you get blown out while you're right by him on a life-saving surgery. What is going through your mind at this point?
Let's see, rage, emotion of anger, shock, dismay, and just this whole feeling that man's humanity to man is just gone. That just doesn't exist. That this whole, here we are. It's the summer of 2002. We're 9 months after September 11th, which rocked the New York City area where I live. Oh my
gosh, yeah.
World. And there was this feeling of community that had kind of built itself up, and the whole country was kind of in a fog for about a year post 9/11.
Just everybody loved everybody, man. I mean, seriously, yeah. It's just, you were American. Exactly. We loved you.
Exactly. I didn't have to know you. I'd love you.
Yeah, love you.
Yeah. And then my company lets me go, and I just kind of shook my head and I said, okay.
Where'd the love go?
Yeah. And why did it go? And it certainly wasn't for performance, Pete, because of the 4 salespeople in this small company. I was the only one to sell their software. The other 3 had sold nothing in 12 months, and I had sold their software in 12 months. So I was like,
Okay, well, what? Now that doesn't make sense at all then.
I know. The only thing I could think of at the time was that the health insurance of the company went up too high, or some other reason. I don't know. I just
they couldn't afford the bills anymore. Possibly.
Yeah, health insurance is a debate we could have on another radio show for hours on end, and I'm not
right. That, I could go with you on there because my son had brain cancer, right? And exactly. I mean, so believe me, I'm all with you on the whole. No, you've got health insurance, okay, but it doesn't cover this. No, but you have health insurance. No, I don't. I really don't. No, so let's be honest.
Exactly. So, I just kind of took stock of my life, because the part that people don't realize is, besides all the stuff my son was going through in the summer of 2002, which my wife and I have nicknamed the summer of hell. 2 weeks after I lost my job, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer and needed emergency breast cancer surgery. And then a week after that, was right around the first week of July, my grandmother and my wife's 2 grandparents all went to the hospital with heart failure.
What?
Heart failure.
How? Okay. Seriously, like, being attached to you seems like there's a problem there. I mean, like, everybody around you is falling apart.
Yeah, it was one of those dazed and confused moments where we really became what I call hyper-focused on just getting through the next 30 seconds without any bad news hitting us.
Right, okay, I believe that.
Yeah, it was tough. That's why we call it the summer of hell. Luckily, everyone made it through that okay, surprisingly.
Right.
We lived in the hospital for that whole summer in a 10-by-10 room, and I didn't think about work. I just thought about being a family and doing what we had to do to keep my son alive and get through the next 5 minutes.
Okay.
So, and it was crazy. I mean, Pete, we would have surgery. My son would have brain surgery at like 7 or 8 in the morning, and by 6 o'clock at night, he'd be going back down the hallway for another surgery.
How is that even possible, man? Because don't they have swelling and everything?
Yeah, but when you do brain surgery, depending on what you're doing, I mean, look, everyone's brain's a little bit different. It's kind of an inexact science. And you're not supposed to go into the brain at all, let alone 30 plus times like my son's had over the past,
oh my gosh,
12 years. So with Josh, it was just they put a shunt in his brain to take down the swelling, and the shunt will get clogged and fail. Think of a drain clogging in your house.
Oh my
It would
gosh.
clog, and they got to go back and do it all over again.
Oh, you're making me freak out. Okay. All right. So I'm so like, my wife would be laughing right now. Okay. You have a company now called Josh Homes, which Josh is your son, right?
Correct.
And here you are, you've been let go right as you're, in the hospital with your son. How is it that you transitioned to becoming one of the biggest realtors in New Jersey? Seriously, like, I just don't understand this. You're fired and you're in a hospital, and somehow you managed to make it out. And now you've got like a ridiculous amount of employees. You're one of the biggest realtors in New Jersey, and you're killing it. And that all came from getting fired in a hospital. How does that happen?
Well, it doesn't happen overnight, though it sounds like it does. It takes consistency. It takes planning. It takes being patient, which I have zero patience. So that's the tough part. My son taught me that. When you're sitting in a hospital, you have no choice but to learn patience.
Oh my gosh, that's true.
Just every day you're just learning how to be patient, because the doctors come in the morning, you have a meeting with them, they leave, and you're just stuck there all day just waiting for your son to get healthy. So it takes looking at opportunities, not taking no for an answer, and really just getting in a routine, so that when I decided to get my real estate license in September of 2002, after about 3 weeks after we left the hospital, it was, okay, this is a business. I'm a one-person business inside a bigger business. At the time, I was with another brokerage before I started my Keller Williams franchise.
Okay. And this kind of makes sense, though, too, because your whole family, you said, was from realty or real estate.
Right, exactly. So I was kind of like an advanced beginner in that I knew enough to know what I didn't know, and I knew enough to know what I knew, which is what they call the second level of learning, which is called I was consciously incompetent.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. So by being consciously incompetent, I was able to just slow myself down and say, okay, these are my goals, now go. And I then went like a bat out of hell. The other thing that really, really helps when you start in the real estate industry or with any business is to have an accountability partner. And I'm big on accountability. My accountability partner happened to be my wife, who was not in the real estate industry at the time. But every day when I left to go to work, she would say something to me that really hit home, which was, sell 3 houses today and don't come home till you do.
That's accountability.
Yeah.
Don't come home until you do.
And then when I'd walk in the home at night, the first thing she would say to me is, with a big smile, is, did you sell 3 today? And you have to look at your partner in the face and say no.
But I'm home.
That's not fun.
Right. Man. So it drove you, instead of that turning you away and you going, well, stop saying that to me and forget it, then I'll just go back to doing something else. You pulled up the bootstraps and went, man, I'm going to. So what was it like the day that you got to come home? Because have you sold 3 houses in a day yet?
Yeah. Well, the one day I remember coming home, I said, is 5 okay?
What?
Because I sold 5 in a day, and she just like burst into a cheer.
Oh my gosh, yes. Are you kidding me? 5 in a day?
Yeah, I had 4 buyers buy a home, and I listed a home all in one day, and I sold it the next day. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. Now, how on cloud 9 were you then?
I was like rubbing it in her face because, hey, it's a little friendly competition between husband and wife.
Right.
There's that running game we played. But you know what? It really showed me a basic level of accountability. Like, my wife was telling me in no uncertain terms, I'm counting on you to do this. And though it's not all on you, it's on us. But, my primary job is mom, your primary job is dad, but somehow we have to earn a living.
Right.
Because at the same time, she started her own company about a year after I got into real estate. So,
and what is her company?
She got into the Mary Kay cosmetics and skincare business, and I'm proud to say she's 10 in the world out of 3 million people.
Wait, what? Your wife is number 10?
10 in sales. Yeah, she just finished her year 10th in sales out of 3 million.
Oh my God! So she's driving one of those nice Cadillacs, right? That's all pink.
No, they give a cash option instead of the pink Cadillac if you don't want the pink Cadillac, and I use it to buy my car.
Nice. Okay, cool. Well, that works then.
Yeah. She's pretty cool.
Wow. So here you guys are, number 10 in the world in Mary Kay. And you got to be close to being number 1 in New Jersey for being a realtor. Now, how is it? Don't you find it kind of weird that two overperforming and go-getters are together as opposed to one person that wants to be on the beach, not doing anything and lounging and being lazy with somebody that's a go-getter? You know what I mean?
Yeah, look, I'm a big believer in personality assessments, and as I learned them more in my real estate career, I gave one to my wife to see what her assessment was, so I could learn to communicate better with her. And I
Right.
also learned that about myself, so I could learn my clients better. Um,
Oh, that's a great idea. You know
you
what?
know,
Michael Wetterman is on, and we have this project called Thinking to Succeed, and I'll let you go. But Thinking to Succeed, we're doing something where we have this project. Phase 3 is where we're working on interpersonal relationships. And I think what you just said would be a really good idea that we could incorporate into that.
Yeah, it's
Talk.
one of my specialties. Like I teach a class on that here at my franchise, all about um, recruiting the right talent, finding the right talent, and using the assessments to really understand who you're talking to. So when you learn about yourself so much and your why you do what you do, it helps you communicate outwardly better. So we're both type A but different, and we balance each other out in a weird way. So that whenever Josh is sick, for example, my wife gets really upset in the moment. And I'm always like, okay, let's figure this out. We're going to figure it out. And the next day, 24 hours later, I'm the one who's like really upset, like, oh my goodness, this is really serious. And she's like, we're going to figure this out. So we're never both down at the same time.
That's awesome.
And we have this balance. I mean, I'll tell you a funny story. Remember my second year of real estate, I'm on a quest to sell 30 homes. And I raced out to a listing appointment. I'm sitting at the appointment, and my wife calls me, and I never take my cell phone into an appointment unless Josh is sick. And Josh had been really sick.
Right.
And my wife calls me, and I looked at this phone number, and I said, look, sorry, Mr. Mrs. So-and-so, I have to take this call. My wife wouldn't be calling me if it wasn't urgent. And I pick up the phone, and she says, get to the hospital now. Josh is having emergency brain surgery in a half an hour.
Wow.
And I said, I just slid the contract across the table, the listing agreement. I said, lady, 6%, sign the goddamn form.
Whoa.
And
Are
she
you
did.
kidding?
No. I said, 6%, lady, sign the form. And she said, what? I go, my son's having emergency brain surgery in a half an hour. Sign the form. I got to go.
Sign the form. I gotta go. That's got to be one of the strongest closes I've ever heard in my life. Look, my son's having brain surgery. Sign the form. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Okay, that would work every time.
Yeah, exactly. Never used that since. I did sell the house in a week, which was great. I drove to the hospital. But what bothered me more than anything was I missed giving Josh a kiss before he went into the OR, and I vowed never to do that again.
Man, that is so cool. That is so awesome. So tell me, how did you build a real estate business? How do you go from working for somebody? You get your real estate license in September, and how long is it before you start your own Keller Williams franchise?
Well, 5 years. It took me. I decided to leave. I left my first company that I was with after 2.5 years to go to another company. Was there for 2.5 years, and when I started at that second real estate company, I was 2.5 years in the business, and I read the book that Gary Keller wrote, which is the founder of our company, called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Fell in love with that book and realized that there was a company based on this guy's book that talks about the business model to be earning $1 million in this industry. And it blew me away. He also has a book, The Millionaire Real Estate Investor. Again, blows me away that he systematized this whole thing. I didn't know it was that easy, because I love following a good model.
Right. You're very, I think that's also why you're so good at what you do, and why your wife is so, like, she's an A type of personality, but she's probably very instinctual. She's very emotional, right? Like kind of like me, where I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I'm very energetic. I'm very out there, right? But something happens and I spin out of control right then and there. I mean, I'm a loose cannon. Where
Right.
you're an A type of personality, but you're also very in control. You're good at systems. You're good at locking down and following through with things. But maybe sometimes starting things are a little bit more challenging for you. Would that be a good?
Yeah, I mean, agreed.
So she helps you get up off the ground, and you help keep the plane flying straight. I mean, I think really that's what a really good partnership is all about. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You can't be everything. You just can't. You've got to be certain parts. So you saw this system that you could jump into, and you're 2.5 years in the business, and you now read Gary Keller's book. And what happens now? Now you go work for somebody else before you still start your own, right?
Yeah, self-doubt of being successful and opening your own franchise or your own company just starts to creep in. And I had a coach working with me, and I was following the systems he gave me to build my business, and business was going great. I mean, I had developed 6 things that I do that no other realtor does, which really helped my business explode.
Wow.
With my coach, and those 6 things were really like my trademark. And
is that going to be in a presentation?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Do you have that presentation?
Yeah, sure.
Here, you know what? I'll go ahead and turn this over to you, man, and I'll let you kind of. I mean, I know we're kind of going through, but I don't want you to not get into the presentation, so I'm going to turn it over to you so you could at least have the calm, and then whoa, what happened to my computer? Okay, there we go. And then now you have control over the computer, and then you could do your presentation, but let's just still finish up with how you got to Keller Williams and then do your presentation. Sure. Is that cool?
So I then kept kind of like my wife said to me, go sell 3 houses every day.
Right.
I kept saying to her, I read this book on Gary Keller. I got to open one of these franchises one day. I got to open one of these franchises one day. I got to open one of these franchises one day. And after 2 years of talking about it, I woke up one day and I said, today's the day. And all she said to me was, oh, you're finally doing it? Good, go.
What? Okay, so you literally woke up one day and said, today's the day.
Yeah, and she knew exactly what I meant. I didn't have to tell her what today's day was. It was just, today's the day.
And you had been making money, obviously, in real estate, right? Because it costs money to start a franchise, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Especially a Keller franchise. Yeah, it's not cheap.
Not cheap. Okay. But I mean, it's worth it though. I mean, obviously, because you did it and you're loving it. I mean, you still love Keller Williams.
Oh yeah. I love the model. I love the systems. I love the belief system of the company.
What is the belief system of the company?
It's basically, it starts off with the number one thing that is the toughest thing for people to grasp, which is called win-win or no deal. We both have to win, and people can always see the win for themselves. Finding a win for someone else is really a challenge. It's a huge challenge. So like everyone can quickly look at a situation and go, wow, if I do that, I'm going to win. Yeah, but is the other person going to win too?
Right.
That's the challenge. And so that forces us to make some very tough decisions. But it's, sometimes everyone has to lose a little bit for everyone to win a little bit.
I agree 100%. I think really what you're saying that I love is the fact that the no deal part, which is hard for people to grasp, because a realtor will go, well, just buy any house, man. Just buy a house. And they don't understand that if they put somebody in the wrong house, that person is going to hate them. And then they're never going to get referrals. And those referrals are gold, because a referral, you'll close on a referral, 80% of the time over just a fresh call or up or whatever you want to call it, right?
Correct. Yeah, correct.
So really what you're fighting for are those referrals.
That's right.
Now, here's a question. If you were really an awesome realtor and I work with you and then I end up buying from somebody else and that person was a jerk and I hate the house that I got, but you were awesome to me, do you think that you could still get referrals? I think that's the other thing that people forget, right?
Sure. 100%. Yeah, you totally can.
So tell me what is your number one thing besides the one win? What is your number one thing that is the key for realtors when they start out?
Realize that this is a business and you better put together a business plan. Otherwise you're kind of dead in the water.
Okay. All right. I love it. Because you need a map, right? You need to have motivation, ambition, and passion for whatever you're doing. You need a map.
Right. 100%. And I guess that's the part that really people don't realize. This is a business. treat it like one. This isn't a hobby. You don't show up for work at 11 o'clock after you've played tennis, gotten your hair done, got your car fixed, got your kids out the door, like, game on.
But I thought that's why I became a realtor, Steven, because I saw all the famous and big realtors. I mean, they're going off and they're having tea and then they get a massage, and I'm watching $1 Million Listing, and the guy's over there playing badminton, and then he gets in his Rolls Royce and they drive down the street and he's buying $700 shorts. Isn't that how it works?
Of course it does. 100% not.
So how does it work?
I mean, you know, I came to work every day at the same time. I was at my desk by 8:30. I was looking at this like it was a stock market. I was looking at all the new listings that hit the market the night before. I was calling my clients that I met the day before about the properties that matched what they're looking for and said, this house is going to go quick. Get your butt out here now to see it. Or this house is not going to go quick. Do you want to see it over the weekend? Or this house is priced right. Or this house is priced wrong. Or, you know, these three are exactly what you're looking for. So when are we going to see them? And it was just basically picking up the phone and calling my prospects who I had met the weekend before, the day before, at the grocery store, at an open house, you know, off my website, who had come in through my website, and basically just said to them, look, this is what you need, and I'm going to get it for you.
So where did you work at? Do you just work at the office?
Yeah, I needed that routine. I needed to come into the office every day.
No. I said that wrong because you didn't get it, and I know you would have. I know there's no way you would have said yes to that.
What?
The only place that you networked and marketed yourself at your office?
No.
8:30, right? 8:30. That's when you clocked in. That's when you started talking about real estate, right?
Yeah, exactly. But if I was at Starbucks and someone would ask me a question about real estate, I would talk to them about it in Starbucks. I mean, if I was, you
talked about it everywhere, didn't you? Man, come on, Steven. There's no way that you got to where you are by not talking about real estate and becoming completely enveloped in it to where you were getting your coffee going, hey, thanks for the coffee. By the way, did you need a house? Because you had to make that part of who you were.
And that was part of it. The other part is I started an aggressive postcard campaign in my second year to kind of blanket a couple towns to get leads for people who were potential sellers. And those postcards brought me, you know, the postcards cost about, I don't know, 10 grand to send out in total. And I made over 100,000 off of them.
Wow.
So,
now, do you still do that?
Yeah, I still do that.
Now, here's what I want to share with everybody right now. I'm so glad you said that, because so many times people will do this, Steven. They go and they do exactly what you did. They spent 10 grand on postcards. They got all these leads. They went, woo! They were living up the life. And then all of a sudden, they don't need to do that anymore because they're better than that. And then they don't have any leads anymore. And they're trying to figure out why their life is different now. How come I'm not making as much as I was before? And it's because they stopped doing the basics. They stopped doing what got them where they were, like what you're saying.
Right. Until someone stops me from doing it because they changed the laws, I'm still going to do it because it works. Like, once it works, don't stop. It's like a faucet. Turn it on when you want the leads, turn it off when you don't, but just know that you can always turn it back on again. Stop thinking you're better than the system you've created.
I love it, man. Okay, well, now I'm going to let you go. You're off and running.
Well, I know. Can you see my screen, Pete? But
absolutely, yeah. It says the Steven Gendel team.
Right. So this is what happens when we get hired. So when sellers see what we do when we put their home on into our system, things kind of go a little crazy because we do a lot more than the average realtor out there. You know, most realtors have never heard of the one in the bottom which says the reverse offer system. And right away, people are like, what the heck's a reverse offer? And the reverse offer system is something I created in 2006. And it works really, really well. And especially when markets are in the decline, but it also works when markets are increasing. And the reality is realtors out there are not used to reversing the process. You think you list a house, buyer buys a house. But what if you have a house that's not selling and you're the listing agent and you're going to sit there and twiddle your thumbs? Like, what are you going to do to get that house sold? You have a job to do. Your seller hired you to sell their house. So the reverse offer system does that. I actually write offers with a price a little bit below the asking price of my seller's home and actually send those offers to the agents who brought buyers through. I actually do the buyer's agent's job for them.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Now, here's what I love about what you're saying. Right now, we have about 30 people on the line, but two of them that I know of. One is Scott, who is our we call him the Hammer at Coast to Coast. He's one of our partners, and he basically runs all of the physical side of real estate for Coast to Coast. And the other one is Michael Wetterman, who is from New Jersey, and I know he's all about getting into real estate. So I think that putting Michael in touch with you could be something really big too, where we could utilize maybe part of your services and also finding properties that we could flip out there. I mean, do you do any of that stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Oh man, then we should be definitely hooking up with you. Scott will watch. You're going to get reached out to from Scott. That'll happen.
Yeah, I mean, I do two things. I do the flips with a couple people. I also work with two builders who buy homes from me for like $1 million cash, and they knock them down and put up homes for like 2.5 to 3 million. So yeah, we do both.
Okay, so this is a good call. This is awesome. All right. Okay, keep going. I love it. Because this is what I want to hear, right, Scott? Look, when you're looking for a realtor and you're looking for somebody that's going to sell your home, I think that there's good, buyer agents, and then there's good seller agents, right? You could tell right now, Steve has got it dialed when it comes to sellers. Even and he's got, how many agents do you have that work for you?
We have 78 here in our office.
78 agents that work in his office. And now that doesn't mean that all of them are good at selling. It doesn't mean that all of them are good at buying. But that's the great thing. He has so many that he's got buyer agents that are really good with working with home buyers, that'll go around with them and that are wonderful with spending time with them. They don't get, because, hey, we're not all built to be around all kinds of different varieties of people, right? Some people,
100%.
You know what I mean? Like there's just some certain personality types are not meant to show homes. It's just like, stop, you suck at this and you're not a people person at all. And then there's some people that are great at listing homes. They're great at being on the phone. They're great at finding, researching information. You know what I mean? And selling the seller on why they should use their services. And they're good at doing all this stuff. And so I think that what I love about what you're saying, Steve, and I'm sorry, I'm just kind of taking over a little bit, is that I love you have a plan for different and multiple ways to get rid of a house. And you're focused on making sure you can get rid of the house. I love that, because if I'm going to go in and buy a house to flip, I want an agent like you that has all these multiple exit strategies and going, look, I'll start writing the offers for them. Man, that's incredible. I'm sorry. I just wanted to kind of freak out a little bit for you and go off.
It's okay. And Pete, to go back to an earlier question that you said, how I got started. In my first year of real estate, I never thought about being the listing agent. I only thought about working with buyers, because listing a home scared the heck out of me. It just scared me.
Really?
So I figured if I could master the side of working as a buyer's agent, I would learn the listing side. So my first 2 years, I was 80% working with buyers and 20% sellers. And then the plan was written out that I wrote. In my third year, as I transitioned from my first company to my second company, split my business 50-50, half listings and half buyers. And then going into my fourth year at the in real estate, go 80%, 20%, 80% listings and 20% buyers, and then started my own company. And now I'm probably 80-20, 90-10 on the listing side to buyer side. Just because of the systems I've put in place. But I mastered both sides of the equation, so I could understand how buyers think when they're coming in to see my homes, to make sure they sell quicker.
Well, not only, that's a brilliant thing, by the way. And also, I think that it helps you in talking to sellers when you go, look, no, I understand what buyers are looking for. I know how to get your house sold. That's going to make me feel confident as a seller, right? If you're coming in going, I want to learn what they're looking for just as bad as you do, it's like, oh, all right, hold on. Hold on, back up. I don't need your help. Let me go find somebody different real quick, because I want somebody with confidence, and that would help you, because I think there's also a real talent and art to getting sellers, right? Because sellers don't just go, hey, you're Keller Williams. Great. Here's my house. Can you list it? Right. I mean, you got to go in and earn that right to list that property, don't you?
Correct, 100%. And if the problem with most realtors, and this is the part that drove me crazy about the industry when I got into it 12 years ago, we all sound alike, talk alike, and act alike. So my friends, who are my word of mouth marketing force for me, call me the anti-realtor. Like that's how they market me.
I love it, man. Scott just did a webinar called Realtor Friend or Foe, because for an investor, a lot of times a realtor is not a friend. I mean, they're not putting in our offers, or they're not understanding what we want. And I think communication a lot of times plays into that. And then also perception, right? Realtors, if they hear, oh, investors, you don't want to work with investors, they suck. Well, now when I call, if I say I'm an investor, immediately they go to, oh, great, here we go again. I don't want to deal with this crap. You know what I mean? And they have no idea that I could buy 10, 15 homes from them this year, and they could make 5, 10, 15 grand off each, maybe, you know, I mean, possibly more depending on what level of house we're buying, right? Because if we're up in the millions, it's going to be a lot more than that. Right. And seriously, you don't want to sell $10 million homes this year?
Right. And most of them have never sold that many in their whole career. So like my number one investor client says to me all the time, you say no to me so much. You're the first realtor to do that. I know when you say yes, I better be buying the house.
I love it, man. See, and that's honestly, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for relationships that we can really count on. I think that's the hardest thing for an investor when I'm talking to a realtor when I'm talking to a realtor, my hardest part is understanding if they're looking out for my best interest or just about getting paid right now because they think, hey, this person's not even real anyways. And in a year, they're not going to be around. So I'm just going to get as many deals as I can right now so that when they blow out, I'm okay. You know what I mean? Right. Instead of looking out, because if they looked at it as a long-term relationship, it would be.
Correct. And I guess my number one investor, we've been working together since 2006, 2005, 2006, when he got into building houses and knocking houses down. And I'll never forget one issue. You know, you're talking about looking out for your client. There was this major screw up on one of the homes he was building, and he was the biggest investor. He had hired a builder to build it. And I called him on the phone. I said, "Where are you?" And he said, "I'm in London." I said, "You better fly home." And he said, "Why?" I said, "You're about to lose $200,000.
Whoa.
And he said, "What?" And I said to him, "You're about to lose $200,000 on this house because of the screw up in the master bedroom." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, if you're not going to fly home from London because you're going to earn $200,000, it's okay. But if you're not about to earn $200,000 at what you're doing, then fly home right now." And he sent his wife over, and his wife got on the phone, and she looked at me and got him on the phone and said, "Steven's right. We're going to lose more, $200,000 or more on this deal because of this screw up."
Holy cow! What happened?
Yeah. The design of the master bedroom bathroom made it feel like you had to be 5 foot or less to live there. It looked like a house for someone who was, you know, a child. And when you're buying a $2.4 million home, you can't have a master bedroom that looks like someone 5 foot or less should live there.
No,
it just doesn't fly.
Because Prince might not be buying it, right?
Exactly. So we had a major problem, and this home should have sold for 2.4 to 2.5 million, and it sold for $2 million even. And he thanked me because I was the only one to warn him that he was going to lose money before he lost money.
Oh, so he didn't do anything about it, and he did lose money.
He fixed it as best as he could fix it, but he still knew. I said, even if you fix it, you're going to lose money. There's no way around it. And I said, you have to sell the house. So fix it as best as you can, and we'll sell it. So
now, do you work with? Does he live locally, or do you? Well, he does, right? Because he's a builder. Do you work with out-of-state investors as well?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, all right. Well, continue on to your ad sheets and sales and how you sell your homes, because I was all excited about that stuff. That's awesome.
So beyond the basic multiple listing service, this concept we have in the right corner of the screen you see called the Everyday Open House. When I sell a house, the concept of an open house everyone loves because they want to tour the house. Right. The challenge is buyers don't buy homes from open houses. It's a fact. They don't buy homes from open houses. We know it. It's 100% proven that 99% of the time when the buyer walks through, they won't buy the house. So realtors do it, and they knock their head against the wall every week. So I said, screw this on the open house thing. I'm not going to do them unless certain criteria are met, and my seller has to meet certain criteria. So I'm going to put on the internet when I market this home, open house every day. Call Steven for time.
Oh, nice. So when is it on Wednesday? When's the open house on Wednesday, Steven?
Thank you. Exactly.
When's the open? Well, I can't make it on that day, but I could come maybe Thursday if it's open at like 1 to 3. It's amazing. That's exactly when it's open. Thursday from 1 to 3. That's so weird.
Right. In fact, actually, I'll even make it worse for them, Pete. I'll say, no, we'll have it open at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Does that work for you? Because that's called an appointment.
That is called an appointment. That's right. That's
So,
open at 2 o'clock.
so can you make it at 2? No, I can make it at 3. All right, I'll get my assistant to open the house for you at 3. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but when buyers feel the concept of the open house is when they call us. It's not the typical Sunday open house or Saturday open house for 3 or 4 hours standing there hoping a buyer shows up. Like that's crazy. What business in this country stands there and hopes a buyer shows up in the morning? None of them.
No.
None of them. Even Walmart
Seriously,
knows.
that is brilliant. I mean, I'm blown away by what you're saying right now. Like, I'm seriously shocked. I love this. I wish you were in Indianapolis right now.
even Walmart knows how many people on average are going to come through their store every day. They know it. It's fact.
Yeah.
Right. So why do you people guess at this? Well, we'll just throw an open house up there for 3 or 4 hours and hope to sell your home.
And hope somebody shows up. I'll put a bunch of signs up. I'm sure that'll drive them in, because mom and dad that are driving to the store right now with 3 kids screaming in the backyard, or in the back of the car, I'm sure they're going to go, oh, hold on. Let's take a detour right now. And we'll stop by this house and go check it out. Right?
Right. Now, when I launch a home and put it on the market, one of the things I've done on a Sunday, if the home is priced correctly, and ready to move quickly, I will do an open house on a Sunday, but I will only do it for 1 hour long, tops. Because what we found out is if I force all the buyers to come to the home at the exact same time, like eBay does, it drives the price up.
Yep.
So that's my goal. My goal is to make the most amount of money for the seller. So when
you know what, here's another tip. Have you ever done this? You set the start time for 1 o'clock. And then you hang out and you wait and you show up like 15 minutes late. So that there's like 10, 15 people standing there waiting for you to come in. And that way, you know that they're serious.
I've done that. Definitely have done that. I also put on the internet, when I advertise these, very limited information to make you think there's gold buried under the house. I put like open 1 hour only. This is your only chance to see this home.
Ooh, I like that. Because there's a real sense of loss there. I'm like, why is it like that? Nobody else is doing that. Why are they doing that? Now what do you mean there's only 1 hour to see it? I can only get it for, okay, now I got to go and see this house. This is crazy.
Right.
That's awesome, man.
It also qualifies the right buyers in and out of the home, because if you're showing up at my 1 hour, you're serious.
Right.
Because
you're not kicking the tire, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want tire kickers. I want buyers who want to buy this home right now. So when I force everyone into the house at the same time, I know the price is going up. It's a fact. My sellers love it. I love it. We sell the home in a day. It's okay.
Have you ever done a 5-day sale?
Oh, yeah, sure. No,
how do you like those?
Love them.
Do you like that? I mean, those can drive up the price too, right?
Yeah. I mean, the 5-day sale is kind of like the best bid event. It's kind of like a reserve auction we do. And we say, opening bids start at this number, which is 37% of asking price. And we're going to do a round robin bidding process on Sunday, kind of like you go to a charity event. And then the final 2 bids the highest bids at the end of the night will get the house.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
And but you have a reserve, right? I mean, you got to meet.
Yeah, we have a reserve. 100%. We have a reserve. We don't disclose the reserve.
Correct. Because then everybody would know where they could stop.
Right. And then, of course, I get the typical person who comes in and says, well, that's illegal. And I say to them, really? Why? If I was a typical seller selling a typical home, they don't allow me to tell them what's the lowest amount of money they'll take. Why should I tell you what the reserve is? It's no different.
It is no. It really isn't either. I mean, that's amazing. I love your ideas. I wish I lived closer to you. I want to be more involved with you now. I'm getting excited. Okay. So you've got the everyday open house. What guaranteed sale trade up program? What is that?
A lot of people out there own a current home and they don't have enough equity in the home to buy their next home. So if they agree to buy one of my listings, I will give them a price I will buy their home for if I can't get it sold by closing day. So that way they're guaranteed to know they can buy my other listing and I will buy their home for cash.
Man, that is so... Scott, are you listening to this? Because this is killing me right now. That is brilliant. Again, as an investor, you're able to swoop in, sell one of your other houses, and then pick up their house for... I mean, you're not giving them full market price for it. There's no way you would be doing that. So you're giving them some kind of discounted offer, right?
Correct. And they have to agree to that offer up front so that if I do get them a higher offer, they can take it.
Sure.
But if they don't get a higher offer, they know what their bottom line number is, and they can buy both. And it's a trade-up program like trading in a car. Same thing.
I think that is so... Man, I'm loving this stuff. Okay. VIP
Yeah.
buyer program. Now that is where everybody comes in, you get their information, they can pay a couple dollars, and now every open house that you have, they get first dibs to come through and buy, right?
It's not even. It's actually more than that. We actually put them in a certain database we have back behind the scenes that automatically sends them a text message or an email with the homes that match their criteria the moment they hit the market every morning. So they can open their phone at 6 or 7 a.m. and they'll get a text or an email from me that says, "Hey, these 3 homes just hit. They match your criteria. When do you want to see them?"
Well, and we know the reality is time kills deals. I mean, if you listen to Scott at all, time kills
Right.
deals. You wait too
Always.
long, deal's gone. If it's a great deal, somebody is going to take it. And if it's not you, it's definitely going to be somebody else. So you've got to, and I think that's the thing is that when you show all the stuff that you're giving here, Steven, you're showing people how much value you bring to the table. And when people see value in you, then they can start trusting you. You know what I mean? They see, I mean, trust is all about understanding what you're going to do, right? Trust really, if you're consistent, people trust you because they know what you're going to do. That's really what trust means. I trust that you're going to do this. I trust that you're going to do that. When people don't trust you, it's because they don't know what you're going to do. They don't know if you're going to, if you're going to take advantage of them, if you're not going to take advantage of them, if you're going to do this, if you're going to do that. And I think that when you show people how much you're willing to do for them, it just automatically, it's like the reciprocating thing, right? So what is Google pay per click?
I mean, very, very similar. We spend between Google now, Facebook ads for our properties that are on the market. I'm probably spending a good $1,000 a month to make sure my homes show up first. Every time someone does a search, we know if you're on the first 3 clicks, you're going to get clicked, and you have a better chance of getting a showing and getting sold. So whether that's through Google or through Facebook, the importance of getting one of the first 3 clicks when someone does a search on the internet for a certain home, size, price, or style really, really matters. Google pay-per-click also funnels into this concept we have called internet pricing models. And internet pricing models basically say that when you put a home on the market today, you better price it at a round number. What I mean by a round number, I don't mean like $510,000. I mean 500,000 even, or 475, or 450 even. Because if you do that, you'll always be the first click when someone searches the internet. 499 doesn't fly. A buyer searching from 5 to 550, your home never shows up on their search.
Oh my gosh, that's true.
It's simple math, but this concept we've created called internet pricing model says you can't price this home like a retail item. You got to price this home like a web item because we know 90% of the buyers are going on the internet to see your home first. And after I do all this stuff and I meet with people and I say to them, look, I know this sounds like a lot and almost too good to be true. I kind of hand them something across the table when I'm talking to someone, and that's this cancellation clause I've come up with, which basically just says, if you're not happy, fire me. You know
what?
I'm taking all the risk here.
This is crazy because there's so many realtors are like, you're going to sign a confidentiality agreement with me and you can't use any other realtor within a 3-state circumference of me. And you know what I mean? And here you are going, hey, if you don't even like me, fire me. I'm cool.
Yeah. If you don't like me after one day and you want to just go in a different direction, that's fine. We'll just tear this up and we can part friends. I'd rather part friends than enemies because I believe what I'm doing is so upfront and straightforward. There's no risk. I'll take all the risk. You just know that this is going to work. You know, you follow my system, it'll work. Just follow.
Man, you know what's funny is this reminds me so much of the Thinking to Succeed project and what I'm doing now with companies where I'm going in and I'm like, look, you show me where you want to be this year and what you've done last year. And if I exceed that, if you take on some of my systems and do them and exceed it, then I'll take a part of your profit. You don't have to pay me anything up front. I'd rather have part of your profit than you paying me up front because I'd rather get paid multiple times to do the same thing. You know what I mean? And if I can come in and help your business grow, I see a way bigger leverage there. So instead of charging $5,000 or whatever to come in and do a consultation, I'd rather take something off of the back end. You know what I mean?
Well,
and I think, again, that's showing that I believe in me. I believe in my powers and I believe in what I can do. And that's exactly what you're saying, that you believe in you.
Yeah, 100%. I believe, and you know, sometimes people say to me, this sounds like too good to be true. I'm like, well, give it a shot. You've got nothing to lose. It's all on me. If I'm not that good, get rid of me. It's okay. You know, it's okay. you know, we'll part friends, but rather than me lock you into a 6 month agreement and then me beg you to lower your price and then turn around and lie to you and do the same thing that every other realtor does, like I'd rather throw up. It's just like not worth it.
See, and this is exactly why you've gone all the way up to 78 realtors working for you, because of your integrity. That's such a man, a lost art, it seems like, in real estate. I mean, integrity. I just don't get it. And everything that you're saying right now, I mean, I love. If I was a realtor, I'd want to come and work for you because it's awesome, man. You believe in systems. You have systems, and you're smart. You're creative, and then you've created systems around the ideas that you've made. Which, man, I mean, seriously, I'm tipping my hat to you. This is amazing.
Well, you know what, Pete, at the end of the day, I've got to go home and look at my wife and I got to hold my son and I've got to do the medical stuff that we need to do to keep him alive every day and get him off to school. And I got to look him in the face and know that I did the best I could in my world every day so he can just know that dad's out here busting his butt. He's got to bust his butt to live and be and go to school and work and you learn what he has to learn to improve himself. I can put my head on the pillow and know that I'm doing the right thing. And if I don't feel I'm doing the right thing, it's not a good deal. I got to walk away. And that's just not fair. And that's why I finally started my own company, because I never felt anyone else was doing the right thing. It was all about the almighty dollar. And I felt the dollar would follow you if you did the right thing.
So, absolutely. And I got to tell you, by the way, Michael, yes, I am recording. And Scott, you're right. I want you to hear what Scott just said about you, Steven, which is pretty awesome. He said, Pete is awesome. And I think Pete is the man. Okay, well, I guess it wasn't anything about. No, I'm just kidding. What he said was, if someone can't, or he said, finally, someone that can think, and think is in all capital letters, by the way. And then he put, if people can't see that this guy is a refreshing breath for investors, then I don't know what people are thinking. He didn't say that. I just added that last part. I don't know what people are thinking because he wrote an incomplete sentence, but that's what it should have said. I don't know what people are thinking, because it's true, man. It's so awesome to listen to what you're saying. And I wish I could get other people on this. And I think maybe what we could do, Steven, and I don't know if you're interested or not, but maybe we could put together a web series that we do for realtors all across the United States, that we have you do a web series for them if you want. I don't know if you want. I'm just throwing something out there just because I see you as having a huge amount of value. And I would love to be able to bring your message to more realtors and help them adjust. And maybe that's something where you could be national, man. Maybe something you can do big,
Thanks. I'm okay with going big because, we touched on it earlier with the investors. The other piece that we haven't touched on real quickly was the part that we just launched, which is I'm popping up is my son's website, which is helping people who have special needs and families who have a family member with special needs find the right home.
So I want to get right into that. I just want you to hear one more thing that somebody said. They said, this is my guy in New Jersey. I know investors who are having problems moving properties, and now I've got somebody to send them to. So that is amazing. And here's why I initially brought Steven on, guys. I brought Steven on because of this right here. The fact that he works with people for, disabled home or disabilities, and why he does it. If you guys have not had a chance to listen to our interview on Bloomberg, check it out. Go to c2crea.com right now. And on C2C REIA, you can go and check out, just type in Steven Gendel, and you'll see our interview on the radio. Listen to that. That interview is what made me literally fall in love with him and want to bring him on Experts Corner to do a much longer version of what we're doing. And as you can tell, we're still going strong here. But I wanted him to talk a little bit about how he got into looking for homes for the disabled, and obviously, well, I'll let you just go because you have so much cool things to say.
Nah, again, it's just like circumstance, because my son and all of his challenges, you start to meet other people who are like you in certain aspects. And I was meeting people who had a family member with autism, or they had a family member in a wheelchair, or they had a family member who had an accident. And they would come to me because they're like, well, I've seen your son, or I know about your son, or I heard about your son, or a family member told me about your son. And I have a family member who's looking to buy a home, or my cousin's wants to move to the area and their child has blank disease, and they need a realtor who can understand. And I'm like, okay, I understand. I understand when we're out looking at houses and you burst into tears because we found the right home, because we can easily modify this home for your family member who's in a wheelchair. Or I found the right home because that community will welcome my son or daughter who has whatever disease, autism, which is the big one right now, or spina bifida or SMA or whatever it is, so they can go to the right school and be a welcome member of society so they can become a productive member of society. And when you start surrounding yourself with other people who have various special needs out there, you learn that, okay, they have housing challenges. And no realtor seems to understand what they're going through. I do, I live it. So naturally,
Right.
I just built a network of people who were willing to just pick up the phone and call me, who said, "Hey, I heard about you. Or someone referred me, and this is my story." The client I had from last summer, who I sold her a condo, and she called me last summer and said, "Steven, my 36-year-old son was just hit by a bus. He's paralyzed. Can you find him a place to live?"
Man,
And I said,
how
"Yeah."
cool. Seriously, like you were being yelled at to go sell 3 homes, and now you've got this huge name and people call you to help them. I mean, it's and here's what I love. It's because you did what was in your heart. It wasn't because you forced anything. You didn't go out and go, I want to be the best and known for this or known for that. You just went out and did it. So many times I've wanted to, like, as growing up, I kept, the thing that always rings in my head is Zig Ziglar saying, if you help enough people get where they want to go, then you can get where you want to go. And I always remember just going, man, how am I supposed to help anybody get where they want to go? I don't even know how do I help them? I don't know where I want to go. How can I help anybody else? And the reality was, it wasn't until I stopped focusing on what I needed and I started focusing on them that I became who I am today. And who I am today is who I wanted to be. You know what I mean? I wanted to be an inspiration. I wanted to be a motivator. I wanted to take people's life to the next level. And I wanted to be around amazing people and have amazing people around me. And you can't get a high quality of people around you until you become a high quality person. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
there's no way that I could get Scott or Ivan or any of these amazing people, even you, getting you on the webinar, man. I'm still blown away when I hear you talk, because it cracks me up that I have you on this webinar and all the stuff that you've accomplished. I mean, I'm serious. It literally, I know you're laughing, but it trips me out, because having 70 realtors, how fast did you grow that from 0 to 70?
We're 5 years old right now. So
Okay.
yeah, we started with 22 agents in year one.
Well, let me tell you that I have another mentor, Mike Wren, who basically a year and a half ago had 3 companies and today has 40 companies and has over 70 employees and partners and everything over a 3-year span. And I'm going to tell you, man, it takes a lot of dedication, moving through crap to get there. And really, what you've done is amazing. And here's the thing that I love, and I could just start cussing right now because it gets me so freaking fired up, is that your son is disabled. You have every excuse in the world to sit there and go, it's not my fault. To sit there and go, it's the world. I got fired when this happened. I got this when this happened. This is so unfair. My life sucks. And you didn't do any of that, man. I mean, you may have done that in your own room like I have before, and you're kicking your bed and like, this is just bullshit. And how does this all happen to me? But then at the end of the day, you get back up in front of everybody and you're like, man, life is awesome. And I'm ready to take on life and make something happen.
Yeah, and you know why? Because when I look at my son, I have to get my game on for him every day because he's going to need me on some level. So you don't have too much time to be upset because he's going to need me tomorrow. Whatever that need is, whether it's to lift him out of bed and put him in his wheelchair, whether it's to rush him to a doctor, he's going to need me and my wife. So we have 2 sayings in our house all the time. One is game on, like
Game on.
and the other one is no days off.
That's right, man. I love that quote, no days off. Seriously, if I didn't really like you, I would full on steal this from you right now. So I'm just being honest with you at this point.
Thank you.
You need to go and see if No Days Off is available. NoDaysOff.com.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I mean, like right now, you should definitely be typing this in, because I have a computer over here and I can type it in, because I love No Days Off. NoDaysOff.com. That is such an awesome thing. Even NoDaysOff.org would be great, because I could see that being a charity driven thing. And here's why I'm saying that. Scott and I have been talking, and we have now decided, after yesterday, we have now decided that literally 20% of the profit from everything that we do from now on, 20% of the profit from everything we do, we are putting into a fund to basically, we are going to create a bunch of little entities. And what I mean by that is we're going to create a funding source for people that have entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs, ones that are under 18, that we want to fund people that we're going to have a certain amount of money for under 18, a certain amount of money for 18 to 30. We're going to have, I want to do things like giving to Josh Holmes and creating more opportunities there for people and maybe bringing that nationally. I want to do, I mean, we want to create transitional housing. So meaning that women, men, families that lost everything, right? That we create these houses that can help them get back on their feet. You know what I mean?
Yep. Agreed. 100%. It's all part of it. It's all part of it. So I will look at that as soon as we get off the webinar. No question in my mind.
I love that. NoDaysOff.com, man. I think that's awesome.
And it's strictly because when Josh was little and fighting everything in front of him, I used to say to him, Josh, I'm not going to give you a day off. I'm just going to push you really, really hard. We're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be fun. We're going to laugh. We're going to joke. But you know, no days off. We're going to make this happen because we don't know what's going to happen with you. So we can't assume that we're going to get a chime. That doesn't mean we don't go on vacation. Doesn't mean we push them hard to be a member of society.
Now, so, I got another question for you. Do you only have one office in New Jersey, or do you have multiple offices?
I have one office in New Jersey, but I actually have, depending on where you are, people who I've trained personally who do real estate the way I've trained them. So they're kind of like
trainings, by the way, on real estate. Do you do like little seminars and stuff?
I mean, I haven't done seminars outside of the Keller Williams system, but I have spoken in front of my largest group with about 200 realtors talking about how I sell real estate and standards. But I then developed individual relationships at certain locations for people to do real estate with my system.
What about if we put something together and built some kind of training system for realtors then and put you, I mean, would that be against the rules for Keller Williams? I don't know what your whole thing is, but I think this would be awesome to be able to develop something with you and build it out because, again, we're all about help, man. We want to help people. We want to be a platform for change. And what you're doing and even all the different, I mean, I'm seeing God bless you. I'm seeing all kinds of crazy stuff over here on all the comments. And that to me says that you're somebody I want to be attached to. If I've got all these amazing people saying these great things about you, then why not, again, use our platform for more, right? We could do more. Sure. I don't know the stuff that you know, but I could at least supply the platform I currently have, and I can allow you to have it and basically get your message out to all of our listeners. You know, we've got 12,000 members. I've got 25,000 people on Twitter. I mean, we've got downloads that happen all the time. I just think there's more that we can do together. And I really like who you are and what you're doing, man. And so I want to tell you that, and say that I just see a lot of opportunity here. And I know that Scott would love to work with the agents that you train and that think like you do, because that's our problem is trust. If we could build a network of realtors in this country that we trust, are you kidding me? I mean, I am not joking right now, Steven. If we literally had a network all across the country of realtors that I could call in Indianapolis, in Atlanta, in KC, anywhere and go, hey, we want to get this kind of property. And they go, not a problem. Here you go. We now also know that they understand how to sell it. Your system of selling, reverse selling, everyday, what is that? Everyday
open house,
everyday open houses, all that kind of stuff. That's going to make me a lot more comfortable. And I mean, you know, Scott and I are working on building a network of wholesalers. Well, if we could tie the wholesalers together with a network that we build with you of realtors, hello, man, are you kidding me right now? I'm going to freak out.
No, it's great. And I've got a lot of people around the country who I've spoken to, taught, etc. So yeah, this could work.
This is so awesome. Okay, keep going. I'm freaking out right now.
No, that's it. I mean, you know, that's in the short version of the hour that we have together. You know, what Josh Holmes is about, how I sell real estate, and what I do. I just, I got to look people in the eye. I got to shake their hand. I got to go to bed at night and know that I did the right thing.
Now that is your son and your wife, yes?
Yes.
That'd be weird if you said, "Well, that's my son," but no, that's my not my
exactly.
wife.
No,
I put somebody else up on our website. This is your website, right? Now, you have a legitimate 5013, is that right? Or 50?
No, this is not a 501c3 yet. No, not at this point. No,
it's not a 501c3. It's just it's a regular company.
Regular, it's a commercial site, and the big thing is in the for realtor section and for the home buyer section. There's just some free reports and content I've created to allow people out there to learn more about what they should be asking and the questions they should be asking for these specific communities. So if I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about selling my home and I have a family member with a disability and I'm moving across country because I live in New Jersey and I'm deciding to go to Florida, for example, what questions should I ask my agent about how I'm going to get my home sold? It may be modified for the family member.
I want to put this on our website too. Can I do that? I want to put a link to this on our website, or even maybe create a page on our website that is, and maybe we work with you to create it. That basically is, if you're looking to buy a home, if you have a disability or you work with somebody that has a disability, or you know what I mean, basically focused on, if you're looking for a home with a disability, if you have a disability and you're looking for a home, God, I want to say that the right way, not a home that has a disability, but if you have a disability and you're looking for a home, here are great questions to ask, right? Like a fact thing. You know what I mean? There was David Fagan on there.
Exactly.
Do you have a book, by the way?
I do have a book, and we have that I co-wrote with David, Zero to Hero, in 90 Days or Less. And then my own, I've got a second book coming out that I'm working on right now, and we should be out by the fall. So
what's it called?
I can't reveal the title just yet. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah,
man, I'm like David Fagan. I'm like, I haven't even written one word of the third book that I have, and I've already got the title. I'm like, yep, it's called Creating Unbreakable Habits. I've already got the domain and everything. See, to me, as long as I have the domain, that's like copywriting to me, because if you can't take my domain, then you know what I mean? You could go ahead and advertise the domain all you want.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. No, if you go to my Facebook page, and if you find me on Facebook, David and I have had a whole running commentary with people about what the book cover should look like, but we haven't. So, it's right now going back between the heart-centered realtor and a couple other choices. So feel free to vote on my Facebook page.
I will definitely vote, man. I will go find that. Now on Facebook. How do we find you on Facebook?
Just under my name, Steven Gendel.
What?
Friend me on
Tell
Facebook.
you what, is that your? If you can go onto your Facebook page right now, everybody will be able to see you type it in, and then they will know exactly where it is. See, this is what I love about the video. Like everybody right now that's listening to the podcast, whether it's 2013 or 15, 2018, you guys can also find the video on our page. So if you go to c2crea.com just c2crea.com, and in the search bar, type in Steven Gendel, StevenGendel. And then when that pops up, you're going to see Steven on our radio show, and you will see Steven on Experts Corner, which is what this one is. Click on Experts Corner. We're going to call today finding what are we going to call today's webinar? What do you want to call it?
Call it No Days Off.
No Days Off. So this is going to be called the No Days Off webinar. So you can actually just type in No Days Off as well into our search bar, and that'll bring you right to this Experts Corner. The cool part is you can then watch the YouTube video, and you can watch everything that we're doing on the whole thing. So that way you can see oh, look at that. Okay. So red is for heart, which is why some people liked it, but it also means stop, and green means go, but it doesn't have that heart feeling to it. Right.
So far, the left one's been the winner.
Yeah.
But we're not sure yet.
You know what? I mean, I like it because of that. It's also very, very, very simplified too. It's very clean, crisp. You know what I mean?
I mean, look, Pete, I'm a keep it simple, stupid kind of person, so I don't need to get fancy.
You're a KISS kind of guy. I got it.
Yeah,
I got it. Not a problem. Totally. Look at that. You're already getting friend requests. This is live on and in person. I'll bet you that's Scott or Michael. I'll bet you it's one Scott or Michael. Click. Let's see who it is. Scott or Michael.
That's Michael.
Michael. Yes. I am the winner. I am so awesome, man. I'm sorry. That's just, I gotta just, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Relax. I know. Oh, you guys are going to sing?
Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man.
Woo! Yes, I am. All right. So here we are back to, I love it, man. I think that the red title is great, or the red book is great, man. And there's Scott. He's coming up, picking up the rear. Scott's coming up right behind him.
So
No, but
you,
this is awesome.
you can also, I also have a Twitter feed too. If you want to go to Twitter, it's Gendel Team.
Gendel Team. So Gendel
Team.
Team.
Yep.
Got it.
You can find me there on Twitter as well.
So what else do you got? So you've got your you've got those deals, right? Let's go back to your website again. Unless you have something here you want to show me.
No, I'm good.
Okay, so back on your website, we've got ways to contact you. We can contact you at info@joshhomes.org. There's also a phone number there. That phone number, is that to your Keller Williams office?
No, that's a private line, not to Keller Williams. That'll come right to me.
So that's the bat phone. Okay. Yeah. And what do people utilize this site for? Is this just for if I had a disabled partner, friend, son, whatever, and I'm like, man, I got to get you some help. This is a phone number I could call and go, look, we're looking at moving. Can you help us find a place?
Yeah, it could be anything from Steven, I'm looking to move, or Steven, I'm in Kansas City, and who's your clone in Kansas City that can help me find a home or a community to get settled in because my child's dealing with blank.
Got
it. And I have someone I could refer them to that I trust, that I know.
I like that you said that, because you said not only a home, you said a community. What did you mean by that?
You know, the special needs world, the people in special needs have been kind of left out of society.
Yes.
And the word inclusion pops up a lot, but it's tough to feel included when you automatically feel society makes you less than because you're fighting a challenge, whether that challenge is walking upstairs or that challenge is a behavior challenge or a muscle movement disorder or a medical issue or whatever. So how do you feel part of a community to just be who you are? That's what community is about. And one of the reasons why I picked my community was it's somewhat walkable. And I was going to find a way to get Joshua to be accepted come hell or high water. Now, is the whole world going to love him? No, the whole world doesn't love everyone.
Right.
You know, but at the very least, people would be able to look him in the face. And when we walked in and kids would stare at him, I would say, Josh, smile. And he would smile at them and they would smile back. And I would say, can you shake hands? Well, that's what people do. We shake hands. And he'd lift his arm up and they'd shake hands. And I wanted people to feel his flesh feels just like yours.
Right. Now, I've got a question for you. So one of the things that I did with my daughter was I started doing videos every day, right? Because I wanted to put her out in front of everybody and go, look, here's my daughter. She's got alopecia. Alopecia is awesome. Bald girls rock. You know, it's the whole thing. Like, I made it a mantra. Have you thought about doing something like that with him and doing videos with him every day and letting him talk? And even if it's, I mean, and I'll tell you, man, the first like month, I mean, these 5-minute videos or 30-second videos took me like an hour and a half to do. Like, just to film them took an hour and a half because it was, I'm looking over here, I'm looking over there. You got two of them. They don't know what they're going to say. And I mean, it was, I wanted to strangle. Right. But now it's awesome. I'm like, Marina's on the show today. Make sure you talk about this, talk about that. And they go, okay. And we had an 8-minute video today. You know what I mean? And they go all off and it's all them.
Here's the challenge. Joshua has limited verbal skills because of all the challenges he faces.
Sure.
He has a high level of communication and a high level of understanding.
Sure.
But he needs he either talks when he wants to, and it's sometimes challenging to hear him. He has a computer that helps him talk, but it's not a free form of communication. And he uses his eyes to talk, meaning he'll look up for yes with his eyes, and he'll look down for no. So I understand him because I just ask him yes or no questions.
Okay, cool. But you could do that. How awesome would that be? Like to do a video. And I'm sorry, this is what Scott talks about how he loves my energy, because every time he throws a roadblock in front of me, I get excited about how I can overcome it. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Because for me, man, if you did that and like I could see him say yes or no, I'm getting to know Joshua. And that's really the key, is getting that connection.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll learn quickly. A, the kid's really friggin' smart. And B, he likes to make fun of those people around him because he can.
Well, that's cool. Are you kidding me? How awesome would that be? Hey guys, here we are. Joshua's going to give you another update. We're talking about Make It Happen. Well, that's my thing, Make It Happen Monday, but you could take it, but Make It Happen Monday. And here we are. Joshua, is it, what's the weather going to be like today? And you ask him, and then he says, yes, yes. Okay. So we are going to have weather today. Perfect. All right. And then he could make some kind of, I don't know, man. To me, I want, man, that's exactly what everybody can impact is all about. I keep saying it. And it's so funny because I write it in my goals every day. Everybody can impact that gives kids a voice. And that's really what I want. I want to give them a voice. I want to give everybody a voice. And I feel like it's all about connecting with them, right? And Joshua's awesome. I mean, look at everything that you've done for him and that you've done with him, like documenting all of that and creating his own little Twitter or Instagram. Like you could do that. You could create his own Instagram. And that way, whatever he wants to write, you could write and make memes and create, you know what I mean? Give him a voice though. Like, I don't know. Totally. I'm just talking now.
No, and Pete, you're correct, because when he's in a safe environment, especially home, which to him is safe, he talks, he communicates, and you get what he's saying. It's very, very clear. When you take him out of his comfort zone, he processes it before he feels comfortable enough to talk. But yeah, you're totally on the money. We can make this happen. I totally agree with you.
So you could do it at home all the time, right, with him, and now you're just having a. Yeah, and you put it up on Josh Holmes, because here's the thing, man. You want people to understand and identify with you on Josh Holmes. If you had little videos from Josh every single day, right, or even twice a week, whatever. But I do mine every day. But and it's okay, never mind. Anyways, but if you did them every day, you would be driving traffic through there. Now, what's really awesome about that is you're talking about people that have cerebral palsy, people that have disabilities would want to come on and see Josh's statement every day.
Sure.
And you're bringing awareness to this page. And now when people are actually, I needed to go find a house. Hey, just go to Josh's page. Check out his video today. It cracked me up. And right over there where the guy's like typing on his computer, you could have a message about, are you looking for a house? I'm just 100%. Saying, man, I'm changing lives.
I'm with you. I like it, Pete.
Okay. All right. So I know we've been going a long time, man. What else would you like to cover? Or what else do you have to cover?
I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I mean, we can get all deep. I can go deeper on the various topics that, we talk about with real estate and how I sell homes and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's saying what you mean and meaning what you say. And that's how I run my business. That's how I run my life. Always been that way. If you say it, you better do it. It's going to happen. If I tell you I'm going to do something, believe me, it's going to get done. It's just the fact. I don't live any other way. My wife doesn't live any other way. That's just what we do to make it happen. We're not perfect. We make mistakes like everyone else. But if I look at a client and tell you this is what your home's worth, it's going to sell pretty much to that penny.
Scott asked the question, or you said something, Carte Blanc, he would have a permanent buyer for the deals that work and sell everything we have. Oh, yeah. That's true. Scott, see, I'm telling you, man, you and Scott are going to become friends real quick. Watch, this is going to happen, because we need really good realtors all over the place. And if we could get somebody hooked up with that, and I think we should all jump on a call here pretty soon too, and work out some details, because I think there's some real great opportunities here for all of us. Now, before we go, if any of you guys have any questions for Steve, just let us know here real quick. You can raise your hand, or you can, no, he wants to clone you. I am a clone with him. Man, I wish Scott could just write in English. That's my problem. Do what I say, do what you say what you do. Yes. Oh, that's what he's saying. He wishes that he could clone you, saying that to do what you say and say what you do. So I appreciate it. Did you have fun today, by the way, Steve?
Oh, this was great. I love it.
Okay,
totally love
good.
It was perfect.
This will be fun. And I would like to, again, I'd like to get you on another one of these, and we could go into some other things, because, man, I just love talking to you. Every time I talk to you, I learn more about you, and something else is interesting. And I just think you're brilliant, man. And I appreciate you being on the show with me.
Thanks for having me on, Pete, because I have to tell you, this was a venture out of my comfort zone, and I had a blast. And I love talking to you, because we have this great relationship since we met a few weeks ago.
Yes.
And it's kind of funny because, I love being around people with high energy. And anytime I see someone that I could help, improve their life and vice versa, it's like a natural fire that just starts between two people. So I do appreciate that.
Well, I literally, like, everything that you're doing, I love, man. And I want to be attached to it. I want to be involved with it. I want to be involved with you. Anybody that's going to sit there and donate their life and really give back, I want to be attached to. I want to be connected with. So for me, I think you're amazing, man. And I'm looking forward to building out what we're going to do, because I'm telling you right now, I'm going to get you doing a webinar for us, and we'll do a webinar once a week if you're okay with that. And I'll start driving traffic to it, and we'll get you training the world, man, on how to be a better realtor, because I think that's your gift.
Love it. Love to.
All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much for being on today. Thank you guys for being here. Let me see, check real quick before I bolt off. Oh, wait, Scott Travis. Unmuted, Scott. You can go ahead and ask your question.
I'm on. Hey, what a great guy. And just read my English. I spell in English, Pete.
You spell in English?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying anything too crazy out there. You know, the one thing it is I know running a business and everything else, it's a fine line of having your employees do exactly what you want. How do you inspire them to do to have your energy and to have the gumption, you know, to work with people like you want to work with?
Great question. One, you know, we talk a lot about not having fear, because you know, at the end of the day, I face life and death multiple times a day.
So
and life
crazy.
and death is from the moment I wake up and get Josh up, from the moment I go to bed. There's a couple times we're going to save his life during the day. It happens multiple times. So when you get used to that, this just becomes real estate. It doesn't become as important as everyone makes it out to be. Yes, it's important so I feed my family, but it's not life and death.
Sure, but I mean, when you're talking to when you have your employees out there, and I've listened to when you've been talking with Pete, and I know, I mean, it's just amazing. You bring them into the office, and you know, you have to stop what you're doing, and you take care of them, and just keep everything going. But I'm saying the people that work for you, it's like you have one certain type of energy. How do you get them to have that drive and that energy to have people work for you with the same goal and vision to work for investors or people who are selling their houses, or you know, in that sense?
I mean, look, not everyone's going to match everyone's energy level. I've learned that. But we do a ton of training here. I mean, there's probably a class a day in this office itself. Wow. And the first 15 minutes of every class is get your energy up. You know, and then the second part of the class is a role play class. So we're going to role play what we just learned. And then we're going to do a third part, which we call real play, which is pick up the phone and go do what you just learned, so that you've kept your energy flow there, and we mirror and match each other so they can see my tone, my body language, and what I'm doing, so then they can practice it themselves and know that that's like half the battle sometimes, is how you treat it, and a no isn't the end of the world.
See, he cares
so
about it.
It's a nonstop training. And I have certain, you know, sayings outside my office, and the first thing you see when you walk into my office, it says a big sign in front of me, it says, "Make it a great day." You know, they see that when they walk into my office. It's the first thing that hits you in the face. Make it a great day.
I love
that.
That
automatically brings your energy up. And the second thing they see when they walk into my office is every day's a gift.
Yep. Wow. Well, here's the other thing. You know, when we're talking about, oh my gosh, don't forget. You were talking about, the type of people that you get around you. I think we're a magnet. I mean, look, if Steven, and I'm going to use a weird analogy right now. So this has nothing to do with anybody. Let's say Steven became a pastor and walked around everywhere and said, God is great, 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 God is great. I doubt a bunch of strippers are going to come and hang around him. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to happen. You're going to get people that want to be religious coming and hanging around him, and vice versa. Let's say he was a stripper and he was on, you know, the Thunder from Down Under show. You're probably not going to get a whole bunch of nuns coming over and hanging around Steven while he's grinding to, you know, It's All About You or what, I don't know, some song that's crazy. So I think that we become a magnet and we draw people close to us. You look at the Thinking to Succeed project and all the amazing people that have come and connected with us on that. In the first thing it says in the Thinking to Succeed project is, look, you're going to take your life to the next level, and it's going to be about giving to others. If people don't want to do that, they're not going to join the Thinking to Succeed project, because it inevitably says you're going to be coaching and helping other people. That's part of the way that you learn to be a better person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. And you know, and I also have zero patience for complainers.
Oh my God, yeah, I love that.
If you're going to complain, this is not the complaint department.
I love it.
It's not the complaint department.
All right. Well, Scott, did that answer you?
Absolutely, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott, for asking a question, but I appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Steven, thank you. And just so everybody knows, this is how we roll. Woo! I love this song. I think it's such a great song to leave to because, man, it just makes you feel pumped up. And this is Pete ASMUS, Steven Gendel. Thank you. Woo! There we go, guys. Have a great night. Steven, have a great night. And we will talk to you guys next week. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow to Investing Coast to Coast with Pete ASMUS. I'm going to be interviewing Carlton Wilburn, and we're going to have a great time. Guys, thank you so much. Peace out. Hey, without you, there is no us because you put the Y in our success. Thank you and have a great night. See, that's my tagline, although it should be, and no days off.